The RTX 4050 resolves the low VRAM issue of the RTX 3050. This game delivers close to 100 FPS in a title like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. On average, this card is delivering performance close to RTX 3060 on almost half the power. Hello everyone, welcome back to Digit. My name is Yatnesh and today we are taking a look at the MSI Cyborg 14812V. Now, this thing is very special because it is the first Nvidia RTX 4050 powered laptop that we have in our Digit test lab. There are two main things you need to know about it. Firstly, it is a successor to the RTX 3050 and secondly, it has low TGP compared to it but features 6GB VRAM instead of 4. So, is the RTX 4050 superior to the RTX 3050 and also a viable alternative to the much pricier RTX 3060? Well, let's find out. Firstly, let me walk you through this gaming laptop. Now, as I said, this is the MSI Cyborg 14812V, which is a bit of a mouthful, so I will just call it the MSI Cyborg for the rest of the review. So, the MSI Cyborg looks like a stealthy gaming laptop. I mean, it has a very clean and understated look from the back. The keyboard on this thing is backlit but not with RGB lights, and you do get this translucent sort of see-through material for the WASD keys. And you also do get to see the same see-through material in other areas as well. In terms of specs, we get an Intel Core i7-12650H, which is a 10-core chip featuring 6 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. The maximum boost clock here is 4.70 GHz, which is pretty sweet. And a quick look at this laptop Cinebench R23 score also proves the same. But the score does tend to drop if you keep running the benchmark in a throttle mode. But the drop isn't as bad. I mean, I tested this machine last week only and the temperatures, as we all know, are in the mid 40s. So this kind of drop is kind of the norm. The laptop also has 16GB DDR5 memory running at 4800 MHz and in quad channel mode. Meanwhile, the 512GB SSD has a sequential read and write speed of 3625 and 2525 MB per second respectively. I mean, you can see how it compares to some high-end SSDs in some premium laptops as well. Meanwhile, the display on this laptop is kind of average at best, as it has a peak brightness of around 263 nits and an sRGB and DCI-P3 coverage of just 66% and 49% respectively. Now, this kind of score is quite common in most entry-level gaming as well as work laptops, but at least a bit brighter display would have been appreciated. The viewing angles of the screen look decent at best and the overall colors on the display look very washed out. Rest, if you want to do creative work on this laptop, I mean, why wouldn't you? It is such a powerful machine which has such a great processor. Then use an external display, preferably the one which showcases color accurately. Now the keyboard on this thing feels quite rugged. The keys have good travel to them, but the spring action is only decent at best. What's good though is the fact that the WASD area remains quite cool as most of the heat is distributed in the center area. And the heat isn't too bad either. The peak surface temperature which I recorded was around 40 degrees near the middle of the keyboard. But I feel like I need to put a disclaimer here because summers are just getting started and it could get very hot very quickly. Also, here is a comparison with the GPU temperature profile of the Nvidia RTX 3050 for some reference. Now, in terms of TGP, there is a difference between these machines. But does more power equal better results? Well, here are some gaming benchmarks to give you an answer. Now, you need to remember that the RTX 4050 is not just performing better than the RTX 3050, it is also doing so by consuming less power than its predecessor. Here is the total power consumption of the laptops I tested and you can clearly see that the RTX 4050 is delivering more performance while consuming less power compared to RTX 3050. So, to sum it all up, the RTX 4050 delivers more performance per watt compared to the RTX 3050. And this is only a 45 watt version. You can also get the RTX 4050 in a 65 watt version which might arrive a little bit later in Indian market. And when those laptops finally arrive, there is a good chance that the higher TGP version of the RTX 4050 comes in comparison performance wise to the RTX 3060 as well. And as for the RTX 4050 which this laptop have, I have a few conclusions as well. Firstly, since it is more efficient, if you do decide to play games using just the battery life on this laptop, then theoretically the RTX 4050 should give you a better backup. And although this laptop is pretty expensive thanks to the Core i7 inside, I'm pretty sure that the price would drop much lower if it starts equipping a Core i5 or a Ryzen 5 instead. And when that happens, an RTX 4050 powered gaming laptop will probably be the best budget gaming laptop out there. And as it stands now, the laptop is priced at 1.08 lakh rupees, making it quite expensive. So that was it. What do you think about this review and our comparison of the RTX 3050 and the RTX 4050? Will you be buying an RTX 4050 laptop or sticking with your current RTX 3050 unit if you currently do own one? So let us know it all in the comment section below. My name is Yatnesh and I will see you guys next time.